What's going on, guys? It's Hank from Sprues and Brews, and today I've got a couple of brand new products on the scale modeling market to share with you guys. The kind folks over at HobbyPads, which is a brand new American scale modeling workstation solution company, sent me their new products to try out and give a little unbiased review. And I was super excited when they reached out to me because I'm always looking for ways to keep my workstation tidy and have a nice clean backdrop for filming and for working and sharing content with you guys. And I think I've found my new supplier for that. So really excited. There's a couple of products we'll go through today, their workstation pad and their spray booth pad. So if that sounds good to you, you guys know the drill. Grab yourself a beverage, get cozy. Let's check it out. All right, guys, so before we get into the two specific products today, a little background on HobbyPads as a company itself. I asked the guys for a little information on the company because, you know, this is a really niche hobby. We want to shop small and support folks within our own scale modeling community. So yeah, the two guys, Mark and Caleb, that started this up, they met out on the West Coast and talking about scale modeling and their passions for scale modeling, and they started to discuss workstation solutions and trying to keep your workstation clean and tidy. And they identified a hole in the market where there's not really a good solution for like a workspace mat that you can paint on and, you know, kind of make a mess of. And then when you're done, you can fold it up, throw it in the recycling, and move on to the next sheet. So the first one that we will look at today is their basic workstation pad here. So it comes with this lovely color cover sheet here. And as you can see, it's not just for scale modeling. No matter what your hobby is, if you're a painter, scrapbooker, RC models, model railroading, whatever it is, this works great for you. Obviously for me, it's for scale modeling. But yeah, so there are gonna be 10 sheets on here currently in the current iteration. I'll take the cover off here so I can show you guys a little bit what we're working with. So this is the basic sheet. And like I said, there's gonna be 10 of these on the pad. But it's a nice, clean, bright white workstation here. It's a thick, like laminate poly paper here. It's 19 by 25, so you got a pretty big space to work with, which is awesome. And if you're accustomed to using cutting boards, or cutting mats rather, it's got the whole grid section on here. We've got a little protractor in the corner, so if you need to do a little angle work, you can do that. And we've also got vertical and horizontal references in both imperial and metric. So if you need to make some quick measurements without breaking out your ruler, you've got those on the side there. Another really nice feature that I like here a lot is this little note section down on the bottom right. For somebody like me, if you're working after work or for an hour here, an hour there, whatever it is, there's so many steps in this hobby, and I always say it's really important to make a plan and think ahead so you don't miss stuff, miss crucial steps, because we know this is a labor of love. There's a lot of steps that go into this hobby. So this is a great little built-in section here. So if you're working for the day, you need to make a note, don't forget to do this tomorrow, or you know, you do an oil wash, oil pin filter, you want to walk away and come back to it tomorrow, you can make a little note to yourself so you know exactly where you left off the next day. That is a really nice touch. So I'm excited about that. And for me, as I kind of mentioned in the beginning of this video, this is going to be great because it's a clean workstation for filming. So I like to do, you know, my in progress videos for you guys to share on YouTube here, as well as some stills that I share on my Instagram. And it's really nice to have a clean backdrop for shots like that. Just makes everything look a lot classier and more professional. So I was super stoked to get this from these guys, to get these samples, because this works perfectly for what I'm trying to do here. When I can work on this, I'm not worried about making a mess of the thing. If I'm painting on here or whatever, and if I need to move on to a nice clean sheet for a picture or a photo session for images I'm gonna share on Instagram, I can rip off a sheet and have a nice clean one underneath. Some of the other nice features about this, as I mentioned, it's a nice thick material. I'll show some better close-ups here so you can kind of get an idea of the thickness and the material. So you could, if you really needed to, you could mix paints right on here for dry brushing, or even just like a quick mix on here. It's not gonna bleed through and make a mess on your table, which is awesome. And the other thing that's nice is if you work on it as a pad like this with some extra thickness, you can actually cut right on here too. I ripped off a sheet just to test cutting, just with the single thickness, and I wouldn't recommend doing that. That was like the only downside that I saw here, because I work at my kitchen table, and if I were to cut through just a single sheet, your hobby knife will go through that and scratch the table. So I tested it on my cutting mat, so no worries there. But if you're gonna work with it as a full pad like this, you can definitely go ahead and cut on it. I wouldn't worry about that at all. So yeah, this workstation pad, super excited about. As it currently stands, there are 10 sheets in here. At the moment, they are just one-sided, but you can obviously flip these over and just use the white side, not a big deal. The guys at HobbyPads said that they are working on making these double-sided, so down the road, a future iteration of this product will have double-sided printing, so they'll have the grids and the rulers and stuff on both sides, which is really exciting. So at the moment, these go for $19.99 US dollars, and they'll ship them right to your house. And I think honestly it's a steal, because what I've been doing in the past for filming and stuff, I'll just run over to Walgreens or CVS and grab a piece of poster board or something along those lines to have a nice clean background. And honestly, it's gonna cost about the same. If I were to get 10 of those or buy this pad, it's gonna even out to right about the same price. And you always wanna support the folks in this hobby, like I mentioned again in the beginning. So I am super happy to shop small, support these guys. It is a fantastic product that they've come up with here. And you'll be seeing me shooting on some of these in future videos. All right, so if we move on to the second product here, this is the Spray Booth pad, and you'll see right off the bat, it's a little different, more of a sparse layout than our workstation pad here. And what this is designed for, as the name suggests, is to go in a spray booth. So I don't actually have a spray booth. I don't work with a spray booth setup right now, though it is a really good idea, and it's one that I want to get down the road when I have more of a permanent setup. As I mentioned before, I currently work in my kitchen, but once I have kind of a permanent space to paint in, you can get a spray booth like this one. I'll share an example here, that you can hook up to the window, and it helps with ventilation and getting the paint fumes out. It's a good idea all around. But what this spray booth pad is for is you can fit it as is with all the sheets on here right into your spray booth, and you've got a nice clean area to paint on. And you know, as you guys know, when you airbrush, you're gonna make a mess of this after a while. And when it's all mucked up, you can tear the sheet off, and just like its workstation brother here, you've got a clean space to work on, which is awesome. So this one, again, a lot more simple than the workstation version. There's no grid line on here, but you don't really need that for painting, honestly. This is just to catch all your overspray. So there are 15 of these on the Spray Booth pad. They are a little thinner, I think. Yeah, they're a little thinner than their workstation counterpart here. Again, you're just painting on it, you're not cutting or anything like that, so that works fine. These are currently single-sided, like the workstation pad. Again, the team over at HobbyPads is working on making these double-sided, but you don't really need the print on the back there. You can use it as a clean surface just as well. And this is a really cool idea, because much like this other version here, when I'm painting, I just use a piece of poster board, and it gets kind of gross after a while. And as the video goes on, or as I do subsequent videos, you can still see the overspray remnants from the last project or whatever. And it's not a good habit for me to get into buying a new piece of poster board every single time I'm gonna shoot a video or make a project for you guys. So something like this is perfect. I can spray on here when the project's done, rip off the sheet, got a brand new clean one for the next video I'm making to share on YouTube, which is awesome. So these also currently come in the, what did I say the dimensions were there? The 19 by 25, the big boy sheet like this. But the guys at HobbyPads said that if you go online, there's a space on the website when you're ordering these, they will cut these to size for the dimensions of your spray booth. So if you have a smaller spray booth than 19 by 25, they'll cut this down. And so when you get it, it's custom fit for your spray booth. You can fit it right in there, and you've got a nice clean workstation to custom fit to your spray booth, which is fantastic. Really cool offering. I don't think I've seen anything like this on the market at the moment, other than just like putting pieces of paper or whatever down in your spray booth to keep it clean. So really cool idea these guys have come up with here for the spray booth pads. All right, so these are the two awesome new products from the guys over at HobbyPads. A huge thank you to Caleb and Mark for sending these my way to give them a go. I'm really excited about it. Honestly, guys, these are gonna be a crucial part of my setup go forward here. It's a nice, clean workstation for me to film on. It's gonna be perfect for my purposes as a content creator and sharing scale model work with you guys. But even if you're just a casual hobbyist and you're not shooting content or filming anything to share with folks, this is a great workstation solution. It's clean, it's tidy, you're not gonna make a mess of your cutting mat. It's just a really good idea. I think these guys found a hole in the market, and this is an awesome offering for a ton of people. So if you wanna pick some of these up for yourself, you can head over to hobbypads.com. You can pick up either of the pads here and they'll send them right to you. And there will be an area in the checkout process where you can have these cut down to size if you have a specific dimension for your spray booth. So that's it for me today. Go check out hobbypads.com on your own time. Say hey, tell them Hank sent you. And until next time, guys, be well, happy building. Cheers.